Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Ben from Universal Audio, and happy Tuesday. And since it's Tuesday, that means that it's time for another super fun episode with our dear friend Fab Dupont. How's it going, Fab?
Another day in paradise.
We're back for more tales of the switching.
Absolutely. It's nice to be back.
I
It's
know.
nice to take a break. It gives you like perspective and time to do other stuff.
I Tell me about it.
Big,
Tell me about
yes.
it.
It takes time to put these things together.
Right?
So I was able to actually do other things. It's amazing. I love it.
What a concept.
And well, yes, no, absolutely. And among the things that I've done while the show was on hiatus, is I finished Nesrin's record. I think I finished Nesrin's record.
Hey.
We're pretty close to finishing Nesrin's record. So we have all 10 songs have been mixed. And for those of you who just tuned in and did not see the whole saga, the idea was to mix a whole album in Luna from scratch, sight unseen, with no crutch, no smoke, no mirrors, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a really amazing record, and it's for a German label called Act, and the name of the artist is Nesrin. She's going to join us in a little while,
Nice.
and so I told Nesrin, I said, look, you know, this is going to be my first mix in this piece of software, and but I know it's going to be great, and she was game. So the first episode, I opened the very first song she sent me was called L,
Mm-hmm.
or Elle, because it's in French, and then we went from there. And now we have 10 songs done, and there was a lot of back and forth. Nesrin was kind enough to join us on the show 3 weeks ago or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
to give us a perspective from the artist's point of view of the mixing process. And this whole thing was as much about Luna as it is about the process and learning, interaction and direction
Yeah.
and just a behind the scenes view of what really goes down for this record. So this is like, you know, the music is very particular, but the process is the same process whether I do Nesrin or I do Lolo Zouai or I do David Crosby. It's the exact same process. The process is, here's what I think,
Mm-hmm.
and then Nesrin comes back, is like, nah, that's not what I thought. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, how about this instead?
Mm-hmm.
And then so that I thought that was an interesting um, look at the process.
Yeah.
So now today, we are in theory completely done, except for one tiny little recall
Mm-hmm.
where there was a slight miscommunication between Uma, the producer, Nesrin, and myself, where Uma said something, Nesrin heard one thing, and I heard something else. so,
Gotta love it when those
so
happen.
yes, yes. So I thought it'd be fun to do that recall on camera with while Nesrin's here, and I can say, "Hey, do you like this? Do you like this?" That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be
And
awesome.
then and then we'll see from there. So just to do a quick recap, we had 10 songs,
Mm-hmm.
and if you want to share my screen, or do I do that?
You do that.
I do that. I like to be in power. Hold on one second. Share the screen. Desktop one. Boom.
Boom.
Can you see?
Yep.
Okay. I love it when stuff works. I
I
could
know.
get used to
Notice
that.
you've got some very organized tagging happening in your Finder window here too. The green
Oh
and blues and
yeah. You know
grays.
what? Yeah. So basically, when you work on a lot of projects at once, it's really hard to keep track of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for the feedback system, I used our system, my system called Mixup, which will, this is a it's going to come out no later than very soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's in beta right now, and it's a mixed communication system. I can show you for 2 minutes if you want. I think we're like literally 6 weeks away from releasing it
That's
and
awesome,
unleashing it on the world, and it'll be free, by the way.
dude.
We just
I've checked that. I've used that with a couple of client projects, and
It works great.
it's
So
so convenient.
it's very nice. I'll show it in a second, but we just decided yesterday that Mixup was going to be free.
Nice.
So it's going to be great. But that's one thing. That's the communication with the other humans. But how do you communicate with yourself? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you open your folder and at once one glance you know what process every song is in. So this the stuff that's accessories is in gray.
Okay.
See the little gray dot here. So Apple is a wonderful company in so many levels, and major pain in the butt in others. It used to be that the labels were actually colors,
Hmm.
and you could color the whole line. So at a glance you could see, you would literally, this whole thing would be gray and I
Yeah.
could dismiss it. That's gone. And there's a few alternatives that try and recreate that, but it's not great. And also they switched to tags. It's no longer, you no longer color anything, you're tagging it.
Hmm.
It means you can have several tags. So the way I do it is this is the way it works. See, I have a green tag and a blue tag right here.
Hmm.
When I start a record, uh, there's no tags. There's all the songs. I mean, I tag everything that's not a song gray. That way, it's out of the way,
Yeah.
and I can sort by tag, right here.
Hmm.
So now I have all those songs. If I mix L, I'm gonna say, okay, it's in the process, so I'm gonna make it blue, right?
Yep.
And then when L is done, then I will make it green.
Nice.
So now I know that it's been approved and I can move on. And then I should remove and then I remove the blue, right? And
Hmm.
then so now I know that all the green ones have been assigned and are in and reviewed, and the artist locks all of them. And then, say for example, I know that we have something that Nesrine wants me to update on Remedy. So I'm going to put a red tag on there so that I know that this one has a problem. And maybe,
Nice.
we would consider putting red tags on Night and Vitamin just in case, like that. So now I open my folder and I know what I'm up against,
That's awesome.
That's what I did. The other thing we did is we organized everything very neatly here. Uma works in Pro Tools. He sent me Pro Tools sessions, and then I exported stems.
Hmm.
The first one was an AEF. That was before I came up with the template system. Now I have a template system. You have to refer to the other um, episodes to see how I do my templates.
Yep. I think it was
Um,
number 2. It was probably the second week that we did the show that we
yeah,
really kind of showed the full template making
yeah,
process.
and it's flawless. And I've been using it for everything now. And
Hmm.
I'm in the process of making a writing template,
Nice.
so that, because Luna really shines with the writing and the creativity and sound design because of no latency.
Yeah.
And so it's been pretty exciting, and I'm working on a Gregory Porter single right now,
Hmm.
and it's a beautiful song. And I basically redid the whole production, and I did it all in Luna.
Nice.
And I did it all with like Substance and Moog and stuff, and no latency, and it's really lovely.
Mm.
Um, so let's just look at a session. I got the Pro Tools session.
Hmm.
Some of them were at different sample rates. I sample rate converted. Then I exported stems, and then out of the stems created Luna sessions, and
Yeah.
then out of Luna sessions I exported stuff. You notice that in my folders right now, there's 2 sessions per. There's the first mix,
Hmm.
and then the last mix. Luna doesn't yet do versioning, but that's coming. So I didn't want to keep huge 3 gig sessions and 10 of them,
Yeah.
So what I did is I basically deleted everything but the first and the last mix. That way, if we want to go back to see how it felt the first day, and then in case this turns into more education, then I will have the original session saved.
Nice.
So that's that. I think that's the extent of it. So this is where we at with this one last recall. Um, we decided that I decided early on that as a challenge, I was going to make sure that everything sounds as good as possible, and I was going to try and keep an album feel. Even though Nesrin was very particular about every song having its own universe, I still wanted to have an album feel
Hmm.
for my personal entertainment, and that it would go straight from Luna to Spotify.
Yeah.
So it's not going to get mastered as in like processed. However, because of the speed at which we worked and all that stuff, I am going to send all the final mixes to my friend Diego in Buenos Aires,
Hmm.
and I'm say, hey Diego, can you please listen to all of this, and level them,
Yeah.
just level them. Also, the reason why I'm sending it to him is that the label Act, the German label, is actually wants to make CDs out of this, which I haven't made a record that goes to CD in a while.
Right.
And so all my DDP software, all that stuff is uninstalled.
Yep.
I don't have a CD burner anywhere.
Me neither.
So I can't offer world-class, reliable, I am 100% sure that this is badass service to Nesrine by doing it myself. So I called Diego and say, Diego, this is really awesome record you're going to love. Would you please, make a DTP for me?
Mm-hmm.
And he said yes. And I said, well, since you're gonna
you got to do
that, so you can put the ISRC codes on there because we need the ISRC codes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the software for that. So he's gonna take my mixes. He's not gonna process them, but if he hears something bad, he's gonna complain.
Yep.
And then just put the ISRC codes and make a DDP, send that to the label, and then you can take it from there. So this is essentially for that one step, because I like full transparency. For that one step, this is a straight from farm to table, Luna to Spotify,
nice,
and vinyl, and CD, and I forget something else, wire recorder. I don't know. So that is where we are. And Nesrine has been agonizing for a whole week on the order of songs. And because
sometimes it's the hardest part about making a record.
It's really difficult. And then she sent me this one, and I said, and I tend to recuse myself from those investigations. I'm like, I don't like to do song orders. I don't like it. And so she did it, and then she sent me this one, and I said, I don't like it. At least I like the first song being there. And then she said, okay. And then this is going to be the order, which is fine. And they're all great songs.
Yeah.
So the name of the album is May, and then she should come on and let us know a little bit what's going on with the record. And then we can geek out on that one recall.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be great. So Nesrine, if you're watching,
call the bat phone. Hit the bat phone. It's the red. It's the red thing on your desk. You pick it up.
This is my subtle sign that you should be coming on. Voila. And while I do that, I'm gonna take advantage of the situation and open the song that I know she wants to change something on.
Yeah.
There you go. Poof.
Did you send her the Audio Movers link as well?
I did not. So let's change that. Poof.
Otherwise, she'll just hear us talking about her song, but not actually be able to hear it.
Right. That's not going to work. Technology is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Copy. And see, we forgot that in our setup. Okay. Poof. Boom. How's everyone? Questions?
People. Alexis was asking more about the Gregory Porter single. He was wondering name and date. When will it be out, Fab?
It's going to be out very soon. If it gets approved. You never know.
Exactly.
But it would be out on a matter of weeks.
Awesome.
Let's see. Okay, she's got the link, and she's probably trying to come on right now. So why don't we listen to some music while Nesrine comes on?
Yeah, let's check it out.
So
we haven't heard this one before, have we?
Riti, I don't remember. It's really difficult to keep track of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So let me make sure that it has the cue so that you can hear it. It has the cue. No, it doesn't have the cue. See. Hi, everyone. This is Luna. Yeah, it has a cue. So this is called Rimiti. It's one of my favorite songs on the record. Hold on one second. Let me quit my machine. This whole show is actually costing me a fortune because today I'm buying a Mac Pro because I can't do it all. The Zoom, the loop back, Luna, everything. Here's Nesrine connecting to audio. I like audio. I like connecting. Still connecting to audio.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Zoom is a pig, by the way.
There we go.
Zoom is the biggest pig of all of them. Hola.
There.
Hola, ¿qué pasa? How you doing?
Can you hear us fine?
Say something so we can make sure we can hear. Can you hear us? No. Can you hear us?
I can.
Oh, there we go.
Fabulous. All right.
Nice to have you back, Nazarene.
Hello. Yes.
Thanks for coming. So I'm actually I'm in the process. So how you doing? There's a gigantic delay.
Okay, no, it's fine. I guess.
Hey, sounds like there might be an extra step around the pond.
Yes. So Nesrin is in Spain.
Oh, we just lost your mic, Fab. Yep. Oh, we lost Fab's mic. Nazarene, do we still have you?
Yes.
Yeah.
You hear me or
yeah.
not?
Yeah, we can hear you. So you know what? We'll just have you. If you can just say everything that Fab was gonna say for the rest of the time. Fab, you may have to go to Zoom and tell Zoom to use a different mic input if the or did console overwrite your setting? Oh, there he goes. How's everything going over there?
It's you and me.
I know, right? So Fab's been kind of talking about how we've been wrapping up the album. I would love to kind of get your perspective on working with Fab and this kind of the mixing process in general. How's it been for you? How's it been on your side of the emails and getting mixes from him?
I just want to say that it saved my quarantine time.
Mm-hmm.
It was the thing that actually made my time and my actually somehow alive.
Yeah.
Because here in Spain we had like the worst quarantine ever, so it was great to be able to do this and to put all of my energy on that work. Obviously, I would have loved to be in New York there with him, just touching his hair. Meanwhile, he's doing the mix. But the situation is like it is. So we had everything. We had to do everything on the phone and on this mix-up software that he invented.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very interesting. It was very quick. Fab is he's not only a sound engineer, he's a musician. So
yeah,
he thinks like a musician, so he understands things like I do. So it was very, very, very special, and I'm so happy of the result. He said just right before that I asked that every song has like a different sound, but more than that, I told him like every song has already a different sound, and it's true that it's a little bit your work to make this sound as an album, and he did, and he really did. I sent the final mix to the record label last week, and they were like, all right, they got like
they got it. They're
amazing.
Like, okay, we see now. Yes, we're excited.
Exactly. And they told me, oh my god, it took like a real form, it took like a real large sound to the whole album, to the whole. So he did it, he really did it. We completely lost him.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's one of those things. A lot of times, especially when you're using some of the systems that we have, if it gets messed up once, you almost have to restart your whole computer to get it back. So my guess is he's probably doing a quick little restart of his rig there, and then he'll be back.
I'm sorry for all the best geeks in the world that are just waiting for Fab to say like geeky things about how he did like this plugging and he used that. I cannot help in this.
Yeah, right.
Even though I learned so much.
Yeah. What's been is there anything that you remember from seeing how he's been working on these sessions? Is there something that you were like, oh, I didn't expect him to do that, and maybe is a technique or an idea that you're gonna use in your future songs as well?
I don't know. The thing that maybe surprised me the most is the way all the sounds of the songs are so clear everywhere, and it's like kind of like you're inside of a bubble, and there is like a sound here, it's 3D, a sound here, a sound next to you, and I mean, of course, there is his art, but I guess also the technique and the technology helps a lot to be able to make that um, that art, let's say.
Yeah.
So that was great, and also the way, I mean, I'm a cellist, and the cello, I played the whole album with an electric cello,
Mm-hmm.
a Yamaha electric cello, which nobody does usually, and it's very difficult actually to get a sound and to get the real sound of an instrument like this. And the softwares of Luna did, I mean, he found like the right point to make that cello sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually also something that I really appreciate.
Yeah. And does that cello sound kind of changes a little bit from song to song, right? Like it's not just a dry cello thing. There's different effects and some cool processing stuff going on there too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my cello is. I mean, I use my cello in many ways. I use it with with a thing to play the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
As a gambly, I use it with the bow, but also with a lot of live with effects. So in the album, like already with the producer, with Uma,
Mm-hmm.
we search for like things like this and special sounds with the cello.
Yeah.
And yeah, and from Pro Tools to Luna, I guess that he managed to retranscribe all of those different sounds that we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So
well,
it works,
yeah.
I guess.
Well, it was interesting. I mean, and that's kind of the fun process that Fab's been walking everybody through is, the going from one to another, like, especially when you're working with great artists and producers who have already added some ideas and some sonic character to a track. There's occasions where you want to, dry it up and then start fresh again. But then there's also a lot of times, I know, especially on your record, where he would commit. He'd like the sound that you guys had was already going the right direction. So may as well print it, commit to that sound, and then just take it to that next step as part of the mixing process.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Someone is calling. I don't know.
See if he unmutes.
Checking 1 2.
Hey, he's back.
I'm a professional. Don't try this at home, folks. So yeah, I had to start the machine. Somebody took over, and nothing worked. So let me relaunch Luna.
Some gremlin got in there.
Yeah. Several layers. By the way, I watched the Gremlin movie.
That's the problem. You should have
last week with Lido, with my daughter, and she loved it. So let's see.
I got a question here from CTS Dave on YouTube. Is wondering how long did it take to record all the songs, start to finish, for this album?
Good question.
Yeah, this is a very good question. I mean, the thing is that we did. Actually, I did compose and produce the album at the same time. So with Uma.
Mm-hmm.
So we started maybe in October 2019, and it was completely done, recorded in February.
Nice.
That's very fast.
That's very quick, especially for writing.
Is it?
For writing and recording simultaneously. That's quick.
Oh my God, I feel like it was forever.
No.
That's always how this feel, right?
There's some records that last years. Hold on. So I was trying to get Remiti to open, and then
that's great.
Life was not happening. So let's do that again. Oh, I should share, right?
Yep. Go ahead and share your screen again.
Let's go.
You already have hijack and movers.
Yeah, I'm in one thing at a time. Almost. Log in. Start transmission. Hit it.
There we go. I got it.
What else am I forgetting? You can hear me, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the screen, that's good. Apologize, everyone. We are dealing with we are trying to make music with calculators. Basically, is what they are.
Right.
Yeah. Not very good calculators.
Great at email, awesome for YouTube, not so great for trying to making 1,000 things at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see.
And just I think it was that limiter that makes your CPU go nuts.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it is. It is. But here there was something else, because when I checked everything this morning, it worked flawlessly. I think it's also Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom is not a good citizen. All right, so this should play. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
C'est le glitchy. You cannot hear it. So, Nesrine, je t'ai envoyé un lien Audio Movers dans ton texte. Ne fais pas Safari, fais Chrome ou quelque chose, ok?
Comment je fais si tu me l'as envoyé là sur mon téléphone
Aïe.
et que je suis sur l'ordinateur?
T'as pas les messages? Bah, je te l'envoie par email. Sorry, everyone.
Okay.
Let's see. Boom,
I didn't
boom.
get the sound. The sound.
Yeah,
of
you're gonna get it
Luna.
in a second. So, so can you tell us, Nesrine, while I figure this out?
And now we lost your mic again, Fab.
Oh my god!
It's
The communication is horrible today.
I think it's something with the web browser. Isn't this the point where we lost it last time?
I don't know. Let's ask the people on that who are watching.
Yeah, right.
Do they know about that?
I was like, Zoom's watching us, right?
Anyone can answer this.
Right. Well, Fab's in microphone timeout. Got another good question for you, Nazreen. Was there actually some like drum kit parts, or was it basically all the percussion kind of a hand played kind of percussion drums?
Well, mainly, I mean, the guy who plays David, he's a percussionist, so he plays mainly percussions. He's not a drummer. So yes, he used his hands. Yes, he used some sticks sometimes. But he has a way of playing the percussion and also drum sets sometimes, but as a percussionist, which is way more, let's say, natural and organic. I'm not saying that drum is not organic,
Yeah,
but it's just the sound of it. So
it has a different intimacy to it, right? Because you're thinking of percussion elements are a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more. They have more hand feel to them, which especially with your type of music, right? With the cello parts, with this very like quirky, intimate musical nature, it fits that vibe.
It's true. And actually, when I decided to make an album, I said like the whole album is going to be based on the percussion. It was very important for me because it's earth, and I really wanted like a really earthy percussion. So we've been working a lot with David to get this kind of like tribal, let's say, sound. I think we got it. I think it worked. So yeah. Hello, buddy. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I just texted him.
I don't know. Okay. Who's gonna receive a message?
This is the wonders of completely live broadcasting. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah? I can't hear you there.
Why not? Oh, because it's broke the loop back.
It's totally whack. 1 second. I did. Let's do this.
We can't
something.
It was like, yeah, we can't have so many a million we had so many good episodes where we
go.
run it. There we go. Now we're getting you twice. Do you hear me? Oh, wait, no, I lost. Sorry, I muted the wrong one. Yeah, sorry, unmute your desktop one.
Okay.
There we go. Yep.
Wait, you hear me?
I hear you now, but I'm hearing loop back or double. feedback loop almost.
Exactly. Because this is for me to hear you. I love technology.
But it's also hearing yourself too, which is why it's going. Woo, 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 woo.
Is it still looping right now?
Not, no, now should be fine.
I'll have to make it work. There you go.
Nice. All
1
right.
year.
1 year, like a pro.
Yep. So we have here Vimity. This is going to be very difficult. I'm very sorry, guys. We're being betrayed by the Zoom.
Yes.
Should you guys should Nessun explain what's going to happen next with the record? Will I restart a third time?
Let's see if we can share your screen and see if we can get playback, because I think we can hear you fine now. So the only thing, Nezreen, do you have his audio mover up in your browser?
I did.
Okay, cool.
It's open. I mean,
Great.
I think. I hope.
So let's see.
Apologies, everyone. This is the world we live in right now. Yeah. Cool. Let's see.
Connected. Okay. Should work.
And we're not getting that, Fab.
Hmm?
We're not getting that audio now from Luna.
Cool. And the reason for that is because
My hunch is the loop back. Is if it broke the Zoom connection to it, it may have broken the audio hijack connection too.
yeah, Loopback is fried. Awesome. By the way, everyone, this is Loopback. This is the piece of software responsible for our misery right now. So there's no real way to fry the driver, so we have to restart again.
Correct.
Okay.
Quickest solution's
So-
another restart.
I love restarts. Restarts are great. Some of my best friends are restarts. Yeah. All right. So let me. I can stay on the phone.
Well, Nazreen, I got another good question from CTS Daves. He's got all the good questions for you today. Did all the musicians record with you in the same physical studio, or did you guys collaborate from afar to add their parts?
All right, that's a great question. I mean, I have a dream that one day I will record an album like old school with everyone in the same room, and we really play and record all at the same time. It was not the case for this one, but we all recorded here in Spain. The guitar player and the guitar player, who is actually the producer, also Uma. The percussionists, they were here, and I made the double bass player, the bass player, sorry, Swahili, come from Paris to record with us. I need people. That's why I'm so sad that I'm not with Fab there, because I need to see people and to live the moment musically with the people. I mean, it's cool. I mean, to be able to record people from all over the world and say, just like, we got my song there. But for this album, I really wanted to have like this special feeling and special connection with the musicians.
Because you get such a different part, right? When you're in the room and they can see, like, you can see each other, you can feed off of body language on top of what you're hearing, whereas when you're doing everything remote, it's just what you hear, and you only get to react to what you hear. You don't get to react to the human movement, or like, you can see where your drummers, your percussion player, your drummer is about to go to like this next thing, and you can kind of follow along with that energy in the room.
Exactly, and as we can see, we cannot count on any Zoom to be able to do this kind of things, So yeah, to have people next to you. I mean, this is like kind of like this live feeling and that I wanted to have, and I'm very happy because I'm going on tour with all of them.
Nice.
With all of the guys who recorded on my album. So
that's awesome. Are you guys going to be going out this summer at all for tours, or are you waiting till later in the year?
This summer is dead. Yeah.
That's such a bummer.
There's nothing going this summer. So we hope that October and November and so on are going to be okay, but no one knows yet.
Yeah, it's such a weird time to be trying to be, and it's also weird coming back to it, right? Like trying to think of like, your first show back is going to feel so different than your show before this whole thing went down.
I don't want to play. I hope I'm not going to perform in front of like half of a hall, because like the social distancing thing. I don't like social distancing world. I prefer physical distancing. The physical distancing thing, and with mask. I mean, I hope it's not going to be like this because, it's so sad. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Even though my first concert, I'm not going to be with the guys. It's going to be with the Metropole Orchestra in Holland. So I'm going to be accompanied by an orchestra for the release.
Ooh. Yeah. I've been seeing I think they've been releasing a lot of full concerts with the Metropole Orchestra. Our good friend Corey Wong did one with them a while ago, and then I saw one. They posted one, I think it was the other day, with Sohn. Have you ever checked out his music?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you should check this one out.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually featured him on the UA blog. I think about a month or two ago. He's an incredible singer-songwriter, a little bit more like electronic pop singer-songwriter sort of vibe.
Okay.
But he's got a just amazing voice, really beautiful songs. It's very ethereal, very like, cool textures.
What's the name again?
Sohn, Sohn.
Okay.
And then
very nice. You'll like it.
Yeah, I think you'll really love it.
So I'm imagining you can hear me now.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I have taken loop back out of most of the situation as much as possible.
Nice.
I have gotten rid of everything that doesn't need to run. I have
no web browsers. No web browsers allowed.
Yeah. I think it's brave. The web browser killed us. I wouldn't know why, but now I have a direct way to get into the meeting. Everything's running. I'm going to launch Luna. Hold on to your socks. Here it comes.
Do you have hijack running already?
No, I don't. Shall we do that first?
Yes.
So hijack first.
And thank you for everybody that's been watching us.
So sorry.
Hang out here today. This is real time troubleshooting, but I promise there's incredible music at the end of this. The carrot at the end of the stick is really
just so
good.
you know, all this was checked, rehearsed, practiced this morning, and then checked, rehearsed, and practiced again an hour before the show to make sure that none of this would ever happen.
Right.
Yeah. So there you go. Welcome to life.
That's the thing that everyone should know about you, Fab. I mean, you're the most organized person ever.
Right.
I mean, Fab is the one who is gonna, everything is gonna be very, very, clear and squared, and that everybody can understand. No, that's true.
Yeah, but then I get betrayed by the equipment. So let's see. Let's share the screen if I haven't already. Oh, this is so stressful because it's beyond my control. I don't like it when things are beyond my control.
Right. It's much more fun when.
Maybe I can say something about the song that
Go ahead.
Put on.
Yes.
Okay, that
please
song is Remiti. Remiti. That song is in Arabic. It's sung in Arabic. I mean, the album has like English, Arabic, and one song in French. And that one is in Arabic. And Remiti is actually a tribute to an Algerian from Algeria singer that was the queen of the Rai. Rai is the special folkloric music from my country, from Algeria. From one of my country, because I have both countries, France and Algeria. And so it's a tribute to her. So her name was Shikha Remiti, and I decided to call it Remiti for her because she was a very, very free woman at the time. And she was singing about like desire. She was singing about alcohol.
What?
So it was very, very.
That's super risque.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. In Algeria in the 50s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was Rai as far back as the 50s.
Oh yeah, it's 100 years ago. The Rai.
Oh, I discovered Rai with Khaled. I didn't realize
in the 90s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay.
So okay.
Rai is very old.
Oh, please work.
Okay,
let's see.
You can do a Zoom.
Okay, life is good. Let me kill the limiter so we can listen to music without crackle.
Yep.
And then they'll be good. Life is good. Please pardon our appearance while we remodeled. Here we are.
There we go.
So Nesrin, on this song, this is one of my this and Mumkin are some of my two favorite songs. um, I, because as what I do, I get very much into what I do, and so when I can get a song to be exactly the way I heard it when I first heard it, when it gets exactly to where I want it to be, that makes it my favorite song. Because the beast got tamed. We were almost done, and then I got a feedback from you to raise a guitar, and then I got a feedback from Uma that I didn't fully understand because of the mix of languages. That maybe it was the wrong guitar. So can you guide me? And we're gonna do live on the interwebs. We're gonna figure out what
All right,
guitar it is.
the mistake is mine. I'm so sorry. Last week was so I asked you to raise a guitar that is not the right one. I mean, it's just a question of level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm just saying a question of level because within the process with Fab, there were like a lot of things about like the type of sound, and there is at the end like the question of the levels of things. So it's for me, it came at the end. I mean, first was the work on like the sound of everything, the type of sound, and then like the level. So it was just like a very very small thing.
Okay.
The guitar that has to be raised up is the one that the
Okay, so that's on the chorus. Okay, so let's listen to that
right
section.
after the right after the
so this guy. So we have the chorus is here.
This one, yes.
So it's this dude right here. And I had already raised it. So do you want this one up?
Yeah, just the beginning of it.
So the pickup.
Yeah,
okay.
But it's actually like going over the over the choir.
Yeah. So I'm going to just do it this way. Let's see how this feels. Without the solo, sounds better. I think you could use some more. And then actually, if we're going to do that, then we could use some more of this section too. Like this. How are we feeling?
Can it be a little bit more right at the beginning? This
the pickup, yeah. So what I do, raise the pickup.
Yeah.
Actually, this second note should be loud too. Check this out. I think you like this better.
Okay. Works.
Yeah, it works. My problem is that if it's going to pick up like this, then I can hear that I did something. So I'm going to have to raise the rest so it feels steady and not manufactured. And listen to this. By the way, for everyone, the reason why I don't play just that section, basically we're listening to this, right? So why am I not playing it from here? I'm playing it from before because the key here is that it's going to feel completely different with a little bit of pre-roll because it's the pickup. It's what my analysis is that what Nisrin is missing is that burst of energy of the guitar coming in. And so we have to have a couple bars before to really feel how it goes. It's not a right or wrong, it's a feeling thing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at her face right now. So I see that it's not quite right from the expression on her face. And that last time it was right, but then I was like, okay, she likes that. Then I was like, but I don't like the way it feels after. So let's see how this feels. maybe a half dB less on the body, just it, but I think the rest is great. So let's just bring it down a smidgen here. How do you feel, Nesrine?
Yeah, I agree with you. With this
Okay.
last thing is the
Yeah,
same.
just a little bit too loud. So how are we feeling about the next one?
My question is just before, because I made that mistake telling you like to raise another guitar last time.
Yeah.
Did you do it
This
or
one?
not?
Oh, I did.
I know. So yeah, we shouldn't maybe.
So that's the one, or the one that goes this one?
This one. Yeah.
So I can bring this back down because this is what I did. Because I've done this before, once or twice. What I did, instead of just raising the guitar, is I trimmed it.
Mm-hmm. Smart move.
So, yes. So that I knew that just in case, you never know, that when I know I'm in a good spot with the mix, and the artist says, "Hey, could you raise that guitar?" Then you could go and just raise your whole track. But then, say for example, the artist will come back and say, "Oops, that's not what I meant."
Mm-hmm.
Then you don't have in your brain where your guitar was, and also you don't really want to go open the previous session. It's not efficient.
Yeah.
So what I do is I use a trim, and so I can see here that I raised that guitar 2.4 dBs. And so I know that I can bring it back down exactly to where it was, but actually I enjoyed having that guitar driving more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, what we call half Z's. So I'm going to raise it one, it's a technical term. I'm going to raise it 1.2. So I'm not going to raise it as much as I raised it last time when Nesrine asked me, but I'm going to raise it a little bit too, because when I raise the guitar, I also adjusted the bass. So everything still feels, you can't just, at this level of puzzle, you can't just raise something like this. It really have to, it has to stay in relation to everything else. So let's see how you feel about, and by the way, to finish my thought, the trim, when it's yellow, I know that that's a request from Nesrine, or for something that I've done. And I can very easily, I say, oh, I touched this one, touch this one, touch this one, touch this one, compared to the last version, I can bring them back down. It's nice.
Can you show people real quick how to turn the trim mode on for a fader?
Okay, so for example, here's my guitar sum bus. I can go read, trim. And now I can offset my guitar sum bus like this.
Nice.
It's very easy. And it allows you to basically keep all your automation, and then just like a VCA, it's essentially a VCA. Nice. So, and it's really nice. Well, of course, one of the reasons why you have to be careful is because now, if I raise this guitar and I raise that guitar, it's going to hit the color underneath something more. So it's not just like a pure raising. Also, all my mix bus stuff is going to push back against it. So there's all sorts of different little details that are not just raise this 1 dB and then you get 1 dB. It doesn't happen in a complex mix like this. You really have to listen.
It's all a very intricate balance between different elements. So pushing one a couple of dB means implications for
something
lots
else
of other.
Is going to feel and so lately people have been asking for, not Nesrine, but people have been asking for the mix to be louder and louder and louder and louder and louder, and I'm like, sure. And at one point you're like, there's nothing you can do. All you do is raise the vocal, and then the singer's happy, and then the thing is and then the mix is louder. But if you listen to it, if you raise the vocal, there's a cost to that. The cost is it no longer grooves, or it doesn't hit as hard, because the vocal takes all the room. You only have 100% pi, right? Yep. You don't have 110% pi. You have 100% pi. So if you have a mix where your vocal takes 30% and you raise it 10%, then you add another 10%. Then you add 40%. You got to find 10% elsewhere.
Yeah.
Especially when you're working at the edge of loudness. On Nesrine's record, I'm not at the edge of loudness, because that's not the point. The point here is to make a great sounding record, and we're not trying to be louder than name Doja Cat. That's not what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
we're trying to make something immersive. So that's that. So let's listen to this. could take that one more half dB, what do you think? Take it down a tiny smidgen? Leslie?
Yeah, I mean, from what I hear, I don't know. It's also because of the sound of like the whole Zoom thing, but
Yeah. Well, I will obviously. I'm going to send
the beginning
this.
is bang, and I'm feeling like
Yeah.
if it was a camera, then you see
Yeah.
the guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
then, okay, you know that he's there. So
it doesn't need to be so loud. Okay, let me go back down to that spot here. And then did you hear the same thing on the next chorus? Or is it just this chorus?
I think it's just this one. Can we hear the other one? Like?
Oh yeah, we're going to check everything. I hope this is interesting for you guys because that's the real process. If you have any questions, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Still too much for you, huh? Yep. Still too much.
Maybe
Okay,
because
then
the we don't even maybe
hear
it. It's
like let's
melting.
Okay, we're good here. Let's see the next one.
Okay.
That's fine. Because it's not trying to fight anything, right? And then there's one more here. You can see what I did here. For the hits, I actually raised the hits right here. Bum, bum, bum. Give those hits a little more energy. What were you going to say?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say that this guitar at the end is slightly starting dying, and then like because we already heard it like so much in the song, it's fine if this guitar goes down, 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 down until the entrance of the cello.
Until what?
Fab. The only thing I asked you in this album to raise is not my voice, is the cello.
I know that is true. So you want to you want this last thing here. You want to lower it.
No, maybe the first entrance is fine, and then let's see that it's not too heavy. If the guitar is not too heavy, because in the song during like 3 minutes already, we heard that riff.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want to hear if it's not too much.
I just lowered it a smidgen. Scientific term. That's like maybe a half, maybe a dB. It's not, I don't really look at the numbers. My problem is, I'm okay with that. How do you feel about that?
I'm good. I was just thinking, I mean, I'm not sure I'm hearing very well everything. Like, I mean, level-wise.
Yeah,
like,
I'll send you. Yeah, I think you're gonna.
I don't
want
to make any mistake because it's.
No. It's so, okay. This is don't worry about it. If you don't like it, I'll recall it tonight. But I think like that's an interesting move. it's an extra interesting move. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually ease into the descent here, and if we do that, then this dude here, this one, sorry, no, this one. Yeah. So these two guys, the octave things on the left there, they have to me, they would have to be a smidgen lower, because basically their answers to me, they're answers to the other one. So I want to bring them down a tiny bit, so to keep the balance going and focus more on the pocket. Here's sound like this. See, it feels more round now, as opposed to having this thing, like the half dB makes a difference here for me. As far as like the discourse of it, it's really about the background vocals and that cello coming in at the end. So yep. I like it like this. I'm confident that this is good. How do you feel?
Yeah. No, it's good, because the idea of this end is like this riff is there, it's still there. It's like safe, and everyone knows it. But like all the time, there is few things coming on. It's the voice sometimes or the guitar doing ding. So it's disturbing, and that's the thing that we need to hear until the entrance of the cello. That I think, now that I've listened to the song too much, that I should have made it like enter before, but it's too late. And there's one loop like too much, but it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that, you know what, it feels good. The pocket feels so good that it's okay if it's a little too long, the song. I would have got one round out too. Yeah. But I was thinking, should I just cut it and send it to her and see if she likes it?
But you should have to.
No, because over the course of the thing, it seemed to me that everything was there for a reason. Because every time I tried to do something that was really too far away from the production, then first, it wasn't as good as the production, and then second, it put you in a place where you didn't like it. And then I realized, okay, I understand why this is long. It's just to drag up until that cello comes on. And then when the cello comes on, it really lifts, you know. And I was like, okay, that's probably the idea behind it. And also, I don't understand the lyrics, so maybe there's some stuff in the lyrics that need to be repeated so much. Maybe it's a mantra or something. I was like, this is there for a reason, because everything else, the 10 songs is there for a reason. Every time I change the balance of something, every time I was like, no, because this was supposed to be like this. And I'm like, okay, get it. So when you have somebody like Nesrine who knows, Nesrine has perfect pitch, and she also has unbelievable time. So everything is there for a reason, And so instead of, if it's in the way, if it's not working for me, which many times it was like, I was like, oh, this is tough. I was like, yeah, but I got to find a reason, and I have to make it work for that reason. Just like this guitar, I placed it, the way I used it, I used that the distorted like lead guitar. I used it more as a bed than as a lead. I wasn't using it to change the energy of the track, but that's Nesrine wanted it to change the energy of the track. That guitar was there for that reason. I heard it differently, and so and that changes. Also, there's a lot of things that happen when you start cleaning up the mix. When you listen to a rough mix, like a production rough mix, when you've been working on for the 3 months and adding stuff, it gets louder and louder and louder, and the delimiter gets nastier and nastier, and then all of a sudden you don't hear the pocket, because everything pushes against everything, and then what you hear is like, it's like an old photograph of what you could actually be. And so then when you back things up, you bring the transients back in, it starts to sound like a record again. All of a sudden, I just moved this stuff a half dB. A half dB becomes the world, and you bring something down a half dB, and like, it's the difference between listening like this and then poof, a smile, or you saw it. The minute we hit the right level, poof, it felt right for Nesrine. I got the feedback. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. That one's good, you know? So, and that was a half dB. It's also because it's not very compressed. There's my mix bus is extremely metrosexual. So I have a little bit of, hold on. This is very gentle. Let's see, proof. If I go to the loud parts and I go to my mix bus compression, it looks like this. So like maybe 1 or 2 dBs of compression, but wait, it's in with a sidechain at 70-ish, right? Yeah. So that means that it's not touching the bottom, and it's really kind of like it's doing this. It's not doing this. You know, it's really kind of like keeping it within the rail. And you notice what happened is like raising that guitar is pushing really hard against the Neve summing. Check it out. But I dig it. I think it sounds good.
Well, it sounds. Fabi, we got a great question here from Magnus asking, like, when do you use or not use things like Neve summing or the tape plugins? Like, how do you decide when to pull those out and when not to?
That's a really good question, and that's a question that I get not just about the Neve summing or the tape, that I get about why do you use this EQ instead of this EQ? Why do you do? I think that it comes down to, and this is having this question in your head is a symptom of the fragmentation of information. To sound nerdy for a second, basically, here's the deal. Put it on. The way I do it is I turn it on and I check it out. Right? It's got 2 knobs. One is on off, so that one I know how to use. Right? And then I'm talking about the tape, and then he's got a saturation thing. Right? So I can turn it on and see if I like what it does or not. If I can't hear it, there are 2 possibilities. Either my ears are not good enough to hear it, then I should really not bother about it, right? If I can't hear it, I'm deciding the things. It's my taste going into the mix. If I turn it on and I can't hear it, whether it's because it does nothing or because my ears are another level to hear it, either way, I shouldn't bother. I shouldn't worry myself with something that I can't conceive and I cannot be aware of, right?
Yep.
So that's number 1. Number 2, if I hear it, I have to decide if I like it or not, right? So the first fork of the road. You hear it, you don't hear it. If you don't hear it, don't worry about it. If you hear it, then you have to decide, do I like it or not? So that is a very difficult thing. Do I like it or not? Because there's a lot of pressures like, is this right? You know, less so in the US, but I know all my friends in France and in Germany and in Poland, like, well, but you're not supposed to do that. There's a lot that you're not supposed to. Like, pardon my French, fuck that. You're not supposed to do what? Like, what is this? Is it a law? Like, no, this thing is distorting. Okay, sue me.
Yeah.
I don't care. You know, I like the way it sounds. So here in the US, it's more reckless. It's like, do whatever, you know? Over there in France, I remember trying to figure out how to do things. There were all these rules. And then I really soared when I started getting rid of the rules and just listening, as opposed to looking at the rules. Now, if you're lost and you know something's wrong and you can't tell what it is because there's so much stuff going on, then rules are great for that. But until you're stuck, just have fun. So on the second fork of the road, you can decide if you like it or not. That is very hard. That takes years of listening to decide if you like something or not. And then there's the kicker. Does Nesrine like it or not? So you have this branch for every decision that goes that way, right?
Yeah.
And then does Uma like it or not? Does Nesrine's label like it or not? So every decision in the mix process has to be there for a reason. So when do I put the Neve summing on? Well, I know that the Neve summing softens transients and makes things sound a little fatter and kind of like compressed without being compressed. It gives it more of a record feel, you know, that record sound, which sounds silly to not have a better way to define it, but really what it does is shaves off transients. It has a soft saturation. The further to the right you go with this knob, the more you saturate, the more angry it's going to sound.
Yeah.
like rrr,
Mm-hmm.
not Marshall distortion, but like rrr, that thing like where you feel that a dog is you know looking at you intently, same
Mm-hmm.
feeling. So more or less. So there's that. So if I listen to something and I want the bottom to go all the way down, completely unrestrained,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a loop, and I want the loop to hit hard and hear all that transient, I'm not going to put the Neve or the tape on,
Yeah.
because the Neve and the tape are the opposite of that. They soften the transients and they make things feel rounder. If I want something that sounds more glued, more together, less separate, less cinematic, and more kind of like a soup of things, then I'll put a lot of tape and a lot of Neve on.
Got it.
That is my vision of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, for Magnus, now, what I recommend you do is you go to the UA website, you download the Cas McComb session,
Mm-hmm.
or the light one if you don't have a lot of Apollo power. You open it, and then you spend an hour, Facebook off, Instagram off, family off, everything off,
Mm-hmm.
and you just focus for an hour on listening to what happens when I turn all the Neve off, what happens when I turn all the Neve back on. And then that will be one entry in your list of I use the Neve and Luna when I want, and then that stuff you analyze from that session, you can put one entry.
Yeah.
And then you do the same with tape. That's a second entry. And then next time you can lay your hands on somebody else's session, that's your second entry for the Neve. And then you're going to make your own entries. Next record, at the end of the thing, you check out what you like, what you don't like. And then you decide this is really great. You make an entry in either written or in your built-in list of lists.
Yep.
And you say, okay, when I did that on this record, that was awesome. And then you keep it in your mind. And that's how next time when you put a track up, you're going to think, I'm going to put a Neve on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you will have educated yourself to hear that way.
Mm-hmm.
And multiply that by, a song a day for 15 years on average. And then you have intuition. And then for the part about Nesrine or whoever artist you work with, I know from hearing the rough and from her feedback and from looking at her face, and this shows when she looks at things, when she listens to the stuff I do, I'm like, okay, that responds with her. So in my entry list, and also from the feedback of the previous mixtures, I'm like, okay, she doesn't like when I do that. And then she doesn't like when I do that. Oh, she really likes when I do that. And it's not about, it's about making Nesrine happy. It's her record. Let's not forget that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mostly important is to find the fine line between something that I think is universal, is going to touch people, and something that she can go sell, and stand proud of, and not have to say, well, at that moment we really didn't have, we couldn't, I talked to Fab, but there was no, he didn't want to do that. No,
No.
I can't. I want her to be able to play the record, press play, and have no apologies,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there are some things that could be. Everything could always be better. On some tracks, there's a little bit of computer noise on the high end, and I could not remove it. And then I was like, okay, am I gonna? What do I do? I spent hours in Isotope, and I was like, no, it just doesn't feel right. It sounds computerized.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in doing that. And then we had a conversation, and then we played it back, and then on the part, and then I was like, why doesn't she drive that? She should drive that. So I just shut up and I listened. And then every time there was a noise that bothered her, she said, I think there's a little bit of snow there on the beginning of the thing. And I was like, what snow? So I went and checked out for the snow,
Mm-hmm.
and snow was the aliasing noise. So I went back to Isotope and got rid of the aliasing noise that she heard,
Mm-hmm.
not the one I heard. I got the ones that I felt was going to be in the way of mastering. I got the one I felt was in the way of the harmony or the peacefulness of the song.
Mm-hmm.
But the others that I could not remove discreetly, I just let, unless Nesrine complained about snow, then I went and shoveled. And then I got rid of that snow the best I could. So, and it's not an absolute thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It really is what bothers Nesrine, what bothers me, what's the middle road of that, and how can we make a good record out of it?
Yeah.
Because
so did you use it a lot in the record, this thing, this new thing?
You could say I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
but it's not very important because these are details. But this is a nerdy show, so these are the details we nerd over, and it's really difficult. What do we do? Okay, so there's this. You can hear it now. That's all I hear because that's what I do. But sometimes when the background vocals come on, I hear a hiss on top. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I tried for an hour and a half to remove that hiss. most songs, I dedicated 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours to try and get rid of the stuff that was in the way. And after a while, I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
And so does it
is it actually getting in the way of the message and the energy of the song? If it's not, then
absolutely not. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. So, and the few times where someone cares, it was Nesrine, and she made very sure that I knew, hey, there's snow at the beginning. I'm like, okay, I'll take care of the snow. And so if we look in the absolute terms, there's computer noise on some of the vocals and on some of the cellos. Okay. Is that desirable? No. Is this in the way? No. Move on.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's really a question of yardstick, like how far are you willing to go, and what is the minimum effective dose for people to feel great, and for Nesrine to be proud of it, and for me to be proud of it, and for it to be a beautiful piece of art in the world. And there's something that I really don't like, is I don't like when people spend 3 years on their records, and then there's another 3 year until the next record, and then another 3 year until the next record. That is not the way to be.
Yeah.
Because the 2.5 year difference in between added at every part of that process in my experience, do not translate into a better record. I've never seen it be a better record. I've always seen it decline into a lesser record. That level of agony is for people who are not 100% sure they're going to be able to make another record. Yeah. And there's this fear of everything, that if there's a little bit of this or that here and there, then that's going to be the end of everything. But the fact of the matter is, most artists like Nesrine or like Magda or like Michel or like David Crosby, they have so much music in them, right? That there's absolutely no question that there's another 1,000 times more music that's going to come out of them. And there's no reason to hold up the process for things that don't matter and that nobody will pay attention to, and that I will have forgotten in 3 months. You know what I mean? So it's really important to as a I'm not the producer on this record. Uma is. I just came in at the end to polish, right? To take it from where it was, which was a really good record, to where it is right now.
To magnify.
Voilà, to magnify. And so, as my professional magnifier job, I am not here to hold up the process. I'm here to put energy in the process, and so that when I'm done with it, it just blooms. And so I made my choices. But when Nesrine called me in February, was it February when you called me?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, to mix this, I looked at my schedule. That was pre-Armageddon. That was before the world ended. I looked at my schedule and I was like, and I told Nesrine, I said, send me the worst song. Send me the worst recorded, most difficult. Send me the one you really don't like the one that really hurts your feelings sonically, the one that you feel that is the most difficult. So she sent me Elle. I was like, all right, if that's the worst, I'm good, So, but I only heard like 1 or 2 songs. I didn't hear the other 8.
I was like, those ones are nothing like this one.
Tricky. So I was like,
that's a trick.
That's the trick. So I was like, oh, you know what? If it's like this, I can mix 2 songs a day, and then I can probably 2 songs a day, and there'll be 2 days of recalls or 3 days of recalls. So this is like 8 days of work, more or less, And I really liked it. So I was like, cool, let's do it. I looked at my schedule. I was like, I could squeeze 8 days. But I was very clear. I was like, that's your deadline. I'm not, it's ambitious. I'll do the best I can. I'm not sure I can do it. I might get sick. You might get sick. There might be issues. This was February.
Yeah.
How much time did I spend on this record?
Oh, come on.
I don't know. I would say
a few more than 8 days.
I didn't time it. I probably spent 20 days. And also, but that's not fair, because there's also some preparation for the show to make sure everything was clean and everything worked. So if I remove those times, maybe I spent twice the amount of time. Maybe it took me 15 days to mix this. And the part that it was remote, the part that we were not in the same room, the part that it was here and there little issues with this, the sessions, the time spent trying to clean up the digital noise, that and the fact that also I mixed in Luna, which was my first full album in Luna.
Yeah.
So I was slower than I should have been,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't have my automatic gain stage. I don't have my automatic. There's nothing automatic. I don't have any presets. It's all from scratch.
Yeah.
But I think it came out great because of that too. It has a certain tone that I love because of that. So yeah, but I definitely spent, I spent, let's say, I spent 2 days per song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just got a message from Uma, so the producer. So he told me like, please say thank you so much to Fab. I mean, he's like very 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 proud of you, and very very proud that you made his producing like even
He's very creative. Like the things he does are very cool. It's very very interesting tones, and it's awesome. Yeah, I'm very happy he likes the mix. That's also the other thing is like, what if Nesrin loves the mix, but then Uma doesn't? Now how do you manage that? Ooh, difficult.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known because I mean we work together, so
yes, and as I said earlier that I was going to show Mix Up. Check this out. How did you like working with Mix Up, Nesrin?
It's cool. I would rather be in the room with you again.
I know, but we can't be in the same room. So this is Mix Up. So this is a plugin that
but it's clear. It's very easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
so,
nice.
so it's really practical. Nice. So for example, Mix Up is a 2-part thing. It's a plugin and a website, right? So for example, let's get Remiti. So this is Remiti. I can get into Remiti. I have the plugin loads the song, and I can send a link to Nesrin, and she can listen to the song in her browser. I'm not going to launch the browser now because then I'm going to lose you. But she basically sees this on her phone in a browser, and then she can type feedback anywhere she wants in the timeline. So here she says, could you please put this hit in the same spot on second 25 to see. So she can show me, instead of saying, that thing, she just puts the timeline where she wants, she enters her feedback. She does that online. When I open my session, poof, it's here. And when I press play, it follows. The timeline follows. So my comments highlight where she put them when I'm listening to my timeline in Luna or in any DAW. So that's Mix Up, and that's going to be ready no later than very soon-ish. This is an early beta, but it works great.
So I was a guinea pig for everything. A guinea pig for Luna.
Yeah, you were a guinea pig for everything.
A guinea pig for Mix Up. I mean, I'm very happy. It's challenging.
Yeah.
I was like, you do such a good guinea pig impression. It's so good.
But
yeah,
you do great. You do great. So yeah, Mix Up has been great for remote, and I think that it's going to be, and it works amazing in Luna. It syncs perfect. So it's going to be great for remote work. Otherwise, what do? You send your track, you get 20 emails.
Yeah.
And they say, at that moment there, and then you're when they say it's at 1 minute, because there's a little bit of beginning space at the beginning, it's really at 1 minute and 3 seconds, and then you raise the wrong thing. Here, this is perfect. You always know what you're talking about. It's back and forth. It's real time. It's great. So
Fab, this is the first time it's existing. This is the first time something like this exists.
With a plugin like this, yeah, nobody's done this. We're about to release
My God.
That.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
No.
It's very practical. Yeah.
Chapeau, because that's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. There's a few people testing it right now. Ben is one of them. And then it's just open to a few friends who are testing it, and we have the feedback. And the version 2 is coming out. And we're gonna have to check it's compatible with Luna, and then we're gonna release it, and then it's gonna be free.
That's
free for
awesome.
Everyone. Yep. I'm tempted to do a little some. And so what I'll do is I'm going to close this session. I'm going to reopen it once I don't have my headphones on, and then I will print it and I'll send it to you, Nesrin. But there's one more recall I'd like to do. Is that okay?
Tell me.
All right. So there's a song called Vitamine, and it's really
vitamin
good.
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C. So let me close this session, and I'll come back to it. Off camera for you to make sure the stuff is great. So Vitamin C is the only song that Nesrin did not write, and and it's great. What's the band?
It's a cover from a band called Kane, a German band from the 70s. It's called Kane.
Okay, and so that's the one of the last songs I got, and the arrangement was different to me. Was like it felt different from the rest of the song, and I knew it right away. It was different. And then when Nesrine said that it was going to be the last song on the record, I was like, yeah, yep. So I'm opening the session right now, and so the song sounds a little bit like so. Let me make sure that this is good, so you all can hear it. Yes, let me see.
Her daddy got a big airplane. Her mommy holds all the family cash. A beautiful rose is standing at the corner. She is leaving in and out of a tune.
So it's clearly on Nesrin's record, you know. Yeah, you can tell in 1 second. Oh, I know that record, which is great. But to me, I think that after reflection and having been able to take a couple weeks, like a week off from listening to it, I think that the vocal is too bright. It doesn't fit in the realm of the rest of the record. This vocal is very forward and very bright. And when I listened to the whole record, that song stuck out to me. All the other vocal sounds are super warm, and this one's too bright. So I'd like to offer an option to you, Nesrine, if you care. So this is the lead vocal. This is the lead vocal right here. And so this is dangerous. You know, if you look at it as a pure business thing, this song has been approved by the producer and by the artists. Why am I going to go and open this can of worms of doing that? I'm going to do that because it ain't over till it's over. And I think that we could do better. So this is the vocal and solo.
Her daddy got a big airplane. Her mommy.
You hear that thing, which is great, but it's not. I don't think it's right. It's good on its own. It'd be fine, but in the context of the whole record, I think it's a little weak. So I have this this lead vocal here. I'm going to add a Pultec Legacy on it, and I'm just going to jack up the bottom indiscriminately, and let's see how that feels in solo.
Her daddy got a big airplane. Her mommy holds.
See how it's no longer like this. Now it's more like this. I'm going to show you without. This is without.
Her daddy got a big airplane.
With.
Her daddy got a big airplane.
And then I think I over sugared it. So I'm going to lower. I'm just going to use the inject here and lower the shine.
Her daddy got
a little more.
Her daddy got a big airplane. Her mommy holds.
See now when she goes, you really feel her chest and like her body resonating. Without it, it felt a little kind of like poppy and light. So now in the context with the music, it sounds like this.
Her daddy got a big airplane. Her mommy holds all the family cash. A beautiful rose is standing at the corner. She is leaving in and out of a tune.
How do we feel over there in Spain?
I mean, that's very funny because I didn't say anything about vitamin C because I was like, okay, I'm okay with the fact that song is a little bit screamed, you know, with the previous thing, because it's more like compared to the rest of the album, it's a hey you, it's like it's very crazy song. So I was like, okay, even if the sound of the voice is a little bit aggressive, it was aggressive and almost disturbing, almost like I was like, maybe it could be interesting, but I prefer like this.
I thought so. Yeah. Okay, cool. Great. So that's funny. Okay, good. So, you know, see, that's the thing. And then I'm only able to tell that because I got some distance and I listened to it and I was like, I think that was a bad idea. And so And I was like, I think she'd like it better like this, based on all these other songs.
Yeah.
You
Voilà.
think I can
So,
hear the end of the song? You know.
no, just the verse, because on the chorus it's still gonna sound like this. Check this out. By the way, this song is crazy.
Hey, you.
Oh yeah, this one, yeah.
You're losing your vitamin C. Hey, you. You're losing your vitamin C. Oh, yeah. A monster press machine is on her body. Why she?
So you have this like kind of like schizophrenic thing, right? You have this like warmer present verse, and then it's like screaming chorus. I think it works like that. If you want me to do a little bit of that on the chorus, I can try to.
No, sorry. It was just for the end of the song.
Mhm.
I do this, and it sounds a little bit too much aggressive.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so how about we do something like this?
Hey, you.
So I'm just gonna. So what I had done is I had separated the verse and the chorus vocals, because there was the verse vocal, the chorus vocals are distorting. Like in the recording, there's like literally the microphone goes.
Mhm.
So I put that and I treated it differently. And I just, since I couldn't hide it, I just said, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Got double
And then
down.
what he did, I just like, this just like, this sounds like, you know, late 80s Bristol music, like loud and dirty.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is great. And that's what pushed me to put those vocals pretty bright in the verse, because I tried to give a unique vibe. But then when I went back to it, I was like, no, I think it should be different. So what I can do is I can take this riff and put it on the verse vocal track and see how that sounds. See, it doesn't have the scream anymore, and I can give it a little more level, and we'll come from here.
You're losing your vitamin C, your vitamin C.
So now it no longer is shriek. It doesn't go, you know. I can actually raise it a little more. I think I like how it hits. So I'm gonna actually raise the sum as opposed to raising the source, because I'm feeding my lead vocal into an aux, for reasons that you can find out if you watch the other episodes of Tales from the Switch. That would be a little too much. Transition.
Hey, you. You're losing your vitamin C, your vitamin C.
This is gonna work, especially if I lower the input of it, just the attack right here.
Your vitamin C.
How do you feel about that, Nestle?
Yeah, you left the second part of it, especially in the other.
Yeah.
Okay, which is cool because it also makes a difference. I mean, I think it's better. I would love to.
I will print it and send it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I will mix up it to you.
Cool.
So cool. So that was one, and then there's one more on Night. We're washing our laundry in front of everyone here, but
This
know,
is
it's
and
crazy.
this is so, it's
Hi,
so cool.
everyone.
It's so cool to see this though, because like this is the part of the process that I know even from you never get to see this. Like there's never a pure mix tutorial really going through this part of the process of real time, like tweaking little bits and here or there. Like we always talk at such a high level, or showing like the fun part of the process. But this is the real work of like taking a song, taking mixes from like good to like actual finish line. This everyone's happy, everyone loves this. This is the final product.
I love this. I love this. The on night, on the chorus, you made me raise that can I open the session and show? And then I want to negotiate something with you, see if you're amenable.
It's really funny too. Someone asked a question earlier over on Facebook of like, what do you do in a situation when you as the mixing engineer and the artist don't quite see eye to eye on stuff? So it's also really fun to see the dynamics between the two of you negotiating to make these changes so it stays true to her vision, but also
it's her record. It's Neskin's record. I'm the help. I am here to make sure it's as good as it can be for her. Yeah. And because I have some experience in the process, I can make suggestions. I can say, you might want to consider this because of this reason. It's not about me. It can't be about me. If you talk to any mixing engineer, the first thing to tell you is that it's not about me. And those who stray from that tend to run into issues. So let's see. Hopefully,
this one you may need to kill the limiter on. Looks like you're in there.
It's a monster. It's going to change without the limiter. It's going to change the dynamic a little bit, but let's see. Oh, let's give people a little. This song. This song is insane. It's called Night. Check this out. I'm just going to play the intro so you get the vibe.
Understand your shades. Won't you bliss them? Get to the light. Avoid your night. Try to fulfill your beauty. Are you locked in a circle? After dark, over and over, losing all their sights. When the morning starts, try to fulfill your beauty. Do you know what love is? And how can you give me the answer to this? Do you know what love is? And how can you be so sure? Explain, explain, explain. Oh, explain, explain, explain. Oh, you explain, explain, explain. Oh, explain, explain, explain. Oh, oh.
Darkness again.
So that's so awesome, right? So
that's cool.
It's just so beautiful.
Night and day.
I like it very much. I love when the Mozambique style guitar come down. Like little classic Afrobeat guitars. It's awesome. My question to you, and I know the answer, but my question to you is, how
I know the
would we
question also.
what would we feel if this cello were like a half dB to a dB softer?
Okay, can we have like a negotiation part? If you want to low down the low cello, you can. But the high cello, keep it there. So you can keep the high cello.
The problem is I got everything is one. It's all in one. It's one file. Yeah, everything is sort of kind of like this. So my problem is that it's basically, if this is the realm of the mix and I have the vocal here, it really is kind of like it's got a dynamic, kind of like it's got a peak that just takes away from the vocal for me. And so it looks like I committed those tracks from Pro Tools. I'm already compressing. I really don't want to compress this. Let me see.
But obviously, I mean, let's try it.
Can I try it for just 1 second? Just 1 second. Okay.
Of course,
so I'm going to trim mode. See, trim mode. I'm not touching the real fader.
Yep.
And that way I can tell necessarily, okay, this is what it would sound like if I went 1 dB lower on this one thing. And then I have to check that there's nothing else on that track, which there are. So I'll have to automate that. But for now, I am just, actually, no, this track is okay. This track's cool. So check it out. This is what it would feel like coming from the transition if that section was 1 dB lower.
Do you know what love is? And how can you give me the answer to
That's fine.
this?
You're fine?
Do you know
I'm fine.
what love is?
Makes a world of difference for me. And the reason why
All
is
right.
right now we don't have the limiter. I'm just gonna boldly try with the limiter so you hear. It's gonna get louder.
Do you know what love is? And how can you give me the answer to this? Do you
So now it's glued, because if I play with the limiter and without the change in level, so I can just go back to 0 here, then it sounds like this. I'm gonna get a little closer because the laptop the fan looks like it's gonna take off.
Do you know what love is? And how can you give me the answer to this? Do you
So to me, when I hear it like this is what I feel. I feel like I'm listening to you, having a conversation, and there's a dude that comes to me and said, "Hey, so I want to talk to you too." You know what I mean? I can't. It's hard for me. It's really difficult for me. And no, but I really want to talk to you too right now. And
No, but for everyone to understand, because I am a cellist and a singer, I always have like this kind of duality between like I want people to hear my voice, but I also want people to know that I play the cello. So the 1 dB less is definitely fine. I mean, for me, it makes no difference.
Okay. So then it makes a world of difference for me. I'm gonna print it and send it to you right after this. And then if you don't like it, we can use the previous mix because that's the only thing that I changed. But I'm confident that it makes a big difference for me. And also because you have this dark thing, and then it goes into this angelic thing. And I don't want a mosquito to come in like, nah, you know? So I'm interested to have somebody add to the conversation. I don't want somebody to take over the conversation. By the way, just for entertainment, the intro of this song with the limiter on, I hope the machine is going to play it, but check this out.
understand your shades? Won't you bliss them? Get to the light. Avoid your night.
It's so badass. It's like a mix of Genesis and King Crimson and Nesrine. It's really great.
It's so sick.
And so it's really awesome. That's it. I listened to the whole record again yesterday. And besides these three, well, one of the details was yours. Besides these two details, I feel that we have a pretty badass record.
Yeah.
So
we do.
So, and it's all made in Luna. It's all made in Luna. So yesterday I was, I did a thing with what was it? Oh yeah. So there was this first session ever made in Luna by Jakir King with Cass McComb, which is available to download on the UA website. And I think it's, I don't know, you'll have to tell me, I think this is the first commercial label record entirely mixed in Luna. In Luna, I don't think I haven't, you would know, Ben, I don't know, but
yeah, it's,
nobody around me has done songs.
We had a couple of our beta team guys who were doing TV cues, so we've had a few things on TV done in Luna so far, but as far as I know, full album mixed top to bottom in Luna, as far as I know, this is the very first one on a label
and unmastered. Like, so when people go on Spotify and the usual devils, or get the vinyl or get the CD in X months, whenever the planets align for the thing to be released, it will be literally the output of Luna.
Yeah, that's so badass.
That's pretty awesome.
Dude, and we get
pretty cool.
And people, it's great too that we have the Tales from the Switch here, where people can always kind of come back and see, kind of get a look inside that process and what it took to make this, take it from great productions into a final finished record.
Yep, I'm very happy. I'm very happy we did this, and I'm glad you like the mixes, Nesrine. Otherwise, this would be very embarrassing, wouldn't it?
No, I really love it, and also you were like off right before, but I told them that the record label listened to it only last week, like because I wanted to send them like a real finished thing, and record labels sometimes they're like, oh yeah, but new people, new things, because at the beginning when I said your name, they were and your name is great, but they were like, oh yeah, but we never worked with him, and so they were like, what? When they received it, they really said that it obviously magnified everything and put everything like bigger and wiser, and also it made the whole album sound as an album, which is like something that they really want to hear. So yeah, hallelujah,
and me too.
hallelujah. Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and everybody, a big thank you to Nesrine in the chats for being willing to do this. This is really scary. You have all your music before it's released. Stuff as solo. There's little problems here. There's little problems there. That is really a courageous thing to do. I think that we owe Nesrine a really big thank you, because not everybody is able to do that. Is able to go through that process and think of it as a positive thing. It's really hard for a lot of people. And after my first conversation with her, I was like, she's the one. Mm-hmm. She knows. She can take this and it'll be great. And for all of you who watch this, please, when the record is out, go listen to it as a piece of work. We may have to have a discussion about the order, Nesrine.
Yeah, no.
But
I want to kill myself.
But I agree with vitamin C as the last one. That's a great idea. But the whole thing is, when you listen to it in a row and with all the details and all the beautiful little differences and everything, it's so nice to listen to. The whole thing is very immersive. So please go listen to it when it's out, and then send Luna some love, and send me some questions if you have some, and I'm sure you will. I get them every day. So that's it for this project. I have 2 announcements to make. Mm-hmm. Next week, we're gonna have a Tales from the Switch next week, and I'm gonna mix live during the show. I'm gonna take 3 songs and mix them on the show, and they're very small instrumentation, just a guitar and a vocal. And from this amazing artist from Florida named Ariella. She's a lovely singer. And so it's a duet. It's a husband and wife. I believe they're married. And it's their like live show reel, right? Nice. That's what they play for people to understand what it's going to be like if they get hired to come play a show or whatever, a function or something. And thus, I thought it would be great, because there's so many vocalists using Luna and so many guitar players using Luna, that I would get raw parts from them and said, you know what, why don't you send me your stuff and then I'll mix it, but it has to be on camera. And they were cool with that. So that's what we're doing next week. And then the week after that, we're going to get back. If you remember 2 weeks ago, Will Knox and Luis Cato came on and they wrote this amazing song just for us.
Yep.
And so in 2 weeks, I will start the production on that live on camera with Louis in his apartment in Brooklyn and me here in my lair in Manhattan. And I will remote control his rig. I will remote his control Luna and his Apollo, and I will listen, and you just have to play.
That's gonna be awesome.
And so we're going to produce that song live on camera, and we'll see how many weeks it takes us. Maybe it'll take us 2 weeks to produce it. Maybe it'll take us 3. I don't know. We'll see. So that's what's going to happen next. Voila. So Nesrine, thank you so much, Nesrine.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, everyone who's listening.
And I will be sending.
Thank you for.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience with the Zoom crashes at the beginning of this. and Nesrine, you will be getting these mixes in an hour.
All right. So let's.
All the new mixes will be to you in 1 hour. Awesome.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Thank you, guys. Thank you,
Ciao, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye,
Fab.
everyone.
Thank you, Nazarene. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll be back. We're off for the rest of this week, but we'll be back on Monday with another office hour. So if you guys have any questions, come locked and loaded next Monday. And if you have any music or photos you want us to be sharing on our new countdown, hit us up at live@uaudio.com. There's a new email address where you can send us feedback, you can send us music, photos. We want to feature what you guys are making out there. So feel free to hit us up between now and then, and I hope to see you guys all back here next week. Okay, bye.